I met a girl in Oakland, but I don't wanna say her
Hello. Hey y'all, all these 8 people in here. How everybody doing? Hello, come in, come in. Let me give everybody some time to show up. Y'all know I don't like going live. Y'all trying to rush me to talk about the show and stuff. Ugh. Oh man, hello everybody. Let's see who's here. Excalibur, how are you doing? Thank you so much for being here. You know I appreciate it cuz y'all know I don't like going live. Hello Shanice, thank you for being here. Desiree, hi. Let's see. Oh man, can't wait to watch this. Hello, Bigger Forward Entertainment. Michael, how are you doing? How are you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Bonjour, Mademoiselle at Struggle Reviews TV. This is one of my favorite series. Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang. I'm so glad you guys are here. Like, how is everybody feeling about season 3, the 3 episodes we got? I feel like they are doing really well because I was nervous when they said that this was the last season. With so much that has happened in their careers, I was like, we definitely needed at least 2 more seasons to kind of, pace things properly. But so far, like, I haven't been disappointed in one episode. Let's see. I don't have no banner on. I'm just struggling. Let me. Hey, you know what? It's fine. I don't need one. I don't even know how to do that. Oh man, The saga continues. Yes, yes, yes. We have 3 whole episodes to get through. Like, I feel like I have so much to talk about. If I forget anything, please leave it in the comments and all that good stuff, because I just can't go like from scene to scene. Because first of all, like, there was barely any promotion, in my opinion, for this show. Like, low key, everybody forgot that it was even coming out. I got like lost in the shuffle and just happened to be looking on Hulu, and I was like, "Oh, the show is back. I'm loving the eyebrows. Thank you, thank you. You know, take time to draw them on, because your girl don't have none." But yeah, I forgot the show was coming back. I had a completely different date, but I'm glad that it's here. I watched all 3, and we are about to get into them. Like, I feel like I have so much to say, and I'm gonna forget about something. Let's see. Well, do this here. Let me see how this looks. It's not bad. Let me see. I mean, I guess we can go here. I'm gonna learn how to add some pictures and some other stuff one day, y'all. But I'm gonna come here because, like, episode 1. Yes, I am Leslie Michael Jones, working on his Patreon. Let me answer this right now for anybody who is wondering. Yes, I am still working on the Patreon. It will be opening up at the start of next month, and I'm hoping that it goes well. And you people who really support me, really show up and support, like that's gonna be so dope. And I just can't wait to get it started and see how it goes. Yes, same. I don't know why some shows get. Yeah, this show did not get a whole lot of promotion. I forgot about it, unfortunately. But we here though. We are here for episode 1, and our guys got some money. They got some money. They are living in the Wu mansion. Now, as far as, like, I guess it's not really a critique, like, with the fashions and just some of the things, like, it looks very contemporary, like really current day. I know that they have the guys dressed, from head to toe, polos, like little kind of throwback gear, but it doesn't feel as throwback. Like, it really feels like now for some reason to me. The costuming doesn't seem as it seems a lot more lavish than last season, even though it's weird because, like, they have money now, so it should look like the come up, but it looks very current day. Like, it's not, a lot of the times it's not looking like 90s. But they are in the Wu mansion. Our dudes got some money, and I was just like, why am I sitting here thinking like Dave Chappelle season 1, Rick James, they should have never gave you niggas money. Like, it's just niggas, they got some money. Like, they have some money, and everybody is just so comfortable. Everybody is instantly like hella cocky. Like, I mean, I guess you shouldn't just really be surprised, but it's like y'all just got this money. Of course, we are coming in off of into the Wu-Tang 36 chambers. It has blown up. Of course, they have gotten some money. We left off of last season with Bobby getting everybody their own individual deals. And we have Method Man, which we're going to get to. Takao has been released. It's 95, and he is trying to, get into all those contractual obligations, but they are doing really well. But it's like, you guys are not doing well enough to be acting the way that you are acting. Nobody has like any forward thinking of anything. It's just like, we're thinking about now we have some money, everybody's just living a whole freaking best life. But anywho, I want to get into Bobby. Like, let's go and get into Bobby. I am not liking this. Let me see, because I don't feel like y'all can see. I'm small, but that's cool. Like, Bobby is still like, Bobby needs some moisturizer. Like, I hate that I am getting all the way to this last season and I am still unhappy with like Ashton Sanders' performance as Bobby Digital RZA. He looked like he just so dry all the time. Like, any other thing I see Ashton Sanders in, he looks fine. He looks very well moisturized. Here, it's always giving ashy, giving chapstick, giving. I know he's supposed to be, locked in at the studio, not really, making time for himself. Like, he is like super duper duper stressed out with everything on his shoulders. If this episode doesn't do anything with him recovering all of this music that was lost in the flood, yes, Nicole, ashy. With the music that was lost in the flood, he is just really stressed out trying to get everything back together, meet all of these obligations. And unlike last season, where he could do everything on his own time. We still have them in the Wu Mansion, which we know is all Bobby because he is extremely hive minded. We need to, move as one unit. Kind of what they did last season, where they had the little house and they had to hook it up and they were niggering and all kind of stuff, trying to get the lights and stuff on just to record that first album. He wants to keep that same energy moving forward with the group. And we have all of these grown men who have families and obligations living all under one freaking roof. But Bobby is stressed. We can't, do what we normally do. He is a perfectionist. He likes for things to sound a certain way, to take his precious time. But now we have people to answer to in a short amount of time to do that. And we just see how much he has on his plate. Like, I was stressed out for him. I was stressed out for him. Everybody else is basking in the money that they have came into and having a good time. Everybody's chilling at the pools, women parties, living their best life. Meanwhile, he is just restricted to being in the basement, working on music, like new music, and he's also trying to recover what he can. Like, I feel so bad for him. I feel really bad for him. And I always take everything here with like a grain of salt because I know RZA is behind the show, and not to say that he would go out of his way to paint himself in any particular light, but he's always painted in a really good light as far as the show is concerned. Like, I was just like, wow, like Bobby really looked out for them. Like, I feel so sorry that he has all of this stuff just on his shoulders and just being so stressed out at the fact that I not only have to answer to record labels now, but, I promised all of these guys, pretty much my family at this point, all of these different things. And I have, to keep my word on that financially. Like, I fainted when Divine came out and gave everybody an Air Max credit card. Like, what we need an Air Max credit card for? We ain't got no money. We do not have any money. I'm like, why are we doing this? Like, that threw me off. But Bobby's stressed out. Bobby is always stressed out. Like, I like that. I thought for all of 2 seconds that this was his real hair, but looking into other trailers and stuff, or just the trailer for the season, I think this afro is still a wig. Like, because they've been trying it all seasons with Bobby's hair and Bobby's skin and Bobby's lips. Like, he just looked like he'd been smoking on some Newports, and I just don't appreciate that. But we have his girlfriend here. His girlfriend is here. She has a stronger presence in these first couple of episodes at least, and she is just trying to, take a load off, like take a break. Everybody just wants him to chill, not realizing what he has to deal with. Everybody, like maybe outside of his brother D, nobody cares. Everybody just come get in the pool, just relax. And it's just like, no, it is to the point where he is now washing his own ass. He's not sleeping in the same bed with her. Like, the things that transpire in the next episode with their relationship, I was not surprised. Like, we really expected this grown woman to be shacked up with 7, 8, 9 of your friends and your group members. Like, it just wasn't a good look. And while all of this is going on, I'm just supposed to be playing house and making stuff happen, and you're not even here with me. I was surprised. Like, we gonna get into that, because who the hell takes somebody up to the Empire State to freaking break up with them? I thought that was whack. Like, who does that? But it just seems like so much time has went by, and I kept having to tell myself, like, a lot of time hasn't went by. They just, came into the money and all of the success with the Enter the Wu-Tang. Like, it throws me off sometimes, because Bobby did so much production and released so many albums all in the same year, that I'm just like, wow, this is all the same year. Like, no time has went by. We are still in 1994, 1995. But Bobby stressed the hell out. He has a whole lot on his shoulders, and I do not blame him for being stressed out. Not only do we have all of these contractual obligations now, but ODB is nowhere to be found. He is nowhere to be found. Everybody else has track listings, music that they are working on, but he is just nowhere to be found. He's still mad, of course, from last season. And without, just the contractual stuff, he is family. Oh, Lord, why is this here? I don't know why I even put this here. I was so mad they gave us this Ash She Loves scene. Like, what is this? I ain't... didn't ask for this. I did not ask for this. I was all for the intro and all of the Takal in the background. I came to bring the pain, hardcore from the brain. Let's go inside my astro. I was having a good time. I love that the guys are. I love that they are enjoying the excess. Like they deserve that. You know, they are on the come up, but nobody is really telling them to bring it back. And we're going to get into who is enjoying the excess the most, in my opinion, doing the most out of all the group members. Like I was like, really, I knew it was gonna be you. I knew it was gonna be you, and y'all know who I'm talking about. But yeah, this love scene, child, they could have kept this. I don't know who that was for. I have no clue who this was for. Like, and then her wig was bothering me. Let me go back to this wig. Like, was this wig bothering anybody else? Her wig was bothering me. I felt like it made her look a little matronly. I ain't like the cut. Like, it wasn't giving what they thought it was giving. Their wig was upsetting me. Like, I was almost like not really all that upset to see her go, because I was like, that mean we don't got to see this wig no more. I'm for that. I did not appreciate that wig. I gave her that old lady ass wig. But outside of Bobby just being stressed and just being Bobby, like, I don't know at what point, like, when did Bobby start to enjoy the success, because he has more of the burden on his shoulders than, you know, all of the other group members. Everything that happens with this group relies on him. But we also see, like, I love the scene where we have I think as Inspector Deck try to like come in, like, you know, I can help you out. Like, what do you need me to do? Maybe I can do a track, a beat, maybe, you know, if you want to hire some outside people. He wants to be a one-man band. He doesn't want anybody to touch anything, to help him with anything. Like, you guys do the writing. As far as all of the producing on every single release that we have, I am doing everything. All right. I really don't be complaining about you being tired. But yeah, that's a good picture of that wig. I just really let me see who said something about this wig. She looked about 35 and he looked 18. Yeah, I thought it was just me. Shanice, I was like, this look real matronly on her. And she's a very beautiful woman. I just didn't appreciate that wig. Like, you gonna give her a bad wig and Bobby? That's not attractive. Don't do that already. You know, put them sideburns on his face. Like, I just think that the costuming could be, you know, the wardrobe could be better with Bobby. Like, not even the wardrobe. Like, put some lotion and some chapstick on RZA. I don't understand. I don't know why it's so hard, but I don't know. We didn't spend enough time on RZA. Like, oh, this is, let's see, since, oh man, this like hurt me so much to just see Bobby really trying to salvage everything that has transpired with the flood. And we know the main person that was like affected by the flood, it was Inspector Deck. Like, it really hurt me here, because I love Inspector Deck as a MC. Like, I know when we talk about Wu-Tang, especially myself, like, I love me some Raekwon. We talk about the personalities. Like, a lot of Inspector Deck and like him as a lyricist, it kind of goes to the left, because I think in the beginning of the episode, like they said, Method Man was the most known. Him and ODB, they were like the most popular. Even leaving off of the last season, they were the hot commodities. You saw everybody trying to steal ODB away, and you can come sign here and this, that, and the third. But Inspector Deck, he was just never like that really hot, you know, commodity, because he just wasn't pushed into the forefront like that. So for all that time that went by, and he's trying to like, he's taking stuff to NASA. He's like, yeah, let me just take it. It's like, no, I don't want you to take anything anywhere, get any help to, you know, try to salvage and remaster or, you know, scrape off anything, because they're going to steal the music. Just, you know, leave it alone. But he is just so desperate he's just so anxious. Like, I want my music to come out. Like, I want my album. So he steals the disc, takes it all the way down to NASA to try to get it restored and recovered. And we just know that that is not the fact. Whereas we have, you know, a lot of their albums, like The Bulk, coming out between 94 and 95. Inspector Deck first album didn't come out until 99. Like, oh man, that just pissed me off. Like, he's such a like a dope lyricist. Like, everybody in the group is fire, but his vocabulary is like hella strong. Like it's thought provoking. Like the lyricism and the way that he mixes everything is brilliant. So the fact that he was downplayed and his shit didn't come out until 99 due to the circumstances, and to see him like he was just fighting. I guess if nobody really knows about the group, you will be shocked by the fact, when he returned to NASA headquarters or whatever the hell that was, that it's like we couldn't find anything. It couldn't be salvageable. Like this is just it. He pretty much has to start from scratch with your music. I was like, man, it's not gonna happen for you, Dak. It's not gonna happen. That hurt my feelings. That low key hurt my feelings, but here we go with the man. Like this, I love this, but like it's like outside of the some of the wardrobe choices here, like everything just looked really current and contemporary to me. Like it wasn't really giving 90s for some reason, or maybe that was just me. I don't know. I just thought, does anything look, underhanded or cheap into you guys? Like, not to say that the quality is bad, but I felt like when we were placed in certain time periods and eras in the first two seasons, you really felt it through the surroundings and, the wardrobe choices and just everything. Here, I feel like they are in like a very contemporary home, and we just threw on some polos and some Wu-Tang t-shirts and said we were in the mid 90s. Maybe it's just me, but Shamik Moore, Raekwon is loving the shit out of that George Foreman grill. Like that brought back some memories to me, because at that time that was the most 90s thing about the episode to me, when he was like, I got some new shit, kid. I got this new George Foreman. It's gonna melt the sauce off and all the butter's gonna run down the grill. Like he was he was excited as fuck to get on that George Foreman grill. I love that. I was looking at Shamik Moore. I was like, I can tell that they added like some type of prosthetic or something to the front. See, because Raekwon wasn't a small dude. He was, he was a little chunky. But I was like, did they put a neck roll on Shamik? Is there a neck roll on the back? I was like, when I tell you, I kept pausing because I was trying to look at Shamik Moore's jawline. First of all, he's going to always be exceptional as Raekwon. Like, he dives into his role like nobody else. The energy, the mannerisms, the tone of his voice is very much giving Raekwon. But I could have sworn, if I'm not mistaken, they put, a back roll or a neck roll or something on the back of shit. I was like, when his neck get that damn thick, man? Maybe it was just me. Maybe it was just me. Oh Lord. But y'all, I'm just gonna go through these pictures. They might be a little out of order. I really have no clue. Let's see. Divine here. I love D. I love Divine. I love how he stays on top of Bobby, because Bobby always wants to do what the hell he wants to do, not realizing that Divine has people to answer to. Like, oh my goodness. Oh, let me see. Shanice. She's like, I was going to save it for the end, Shanice. So was they implying that he likes white? They went out of their way to imply that he likes white women. They went out of their way to do that. Like the way that, we made sure to isolate the whole event of him, stop the car. It's some white women outside. Like, pull over now. Them coming back to the house. Like, he had no intention of going in that room with those women just to talk about law. And they're so freaking cocky and so comfortable. I love how it was displayed early on, especially last season, when they were writing their verses and it was just like, we have to be better than each other, or it was just something sensible about the cockiness that they had. Like, they just knew, like, we're going to get put on because we fucking slap. Here it's just like, you won't play nothing but Wu in the house, and he ain't going in that room for that. He was really trying to get his white girl threesome on. Like, I was like, really, Raekwon, you all the chocolate and you want to do some snow bunnies? All right, whatever. Whatever, do what you got to do. But I love, like, Divine's whole transition of, from, jail, probation, dealing with all that stuff, not knowing which way is up, to the Divine that we see now. I love it. The transformation has just been so freaking dope to see and watch. Like, he is so business minded. Where Bobby is, as far as, like music, the way his mind operates, being that musical genius, the way those beats come out, Divine is the same way. Like, we were reading books and stuff last season. You see this whiteboard here. He is always on top of everything. I just love to see him flex. Even if we gotta flex and go into the business office, like, I need to let myself be known here. You just see how many hurdles he has to face as a up and coming black executive. Nobody's taking him serious. Are you here to rap? Like, what are you here for? You couldn't possibly be here to do anything but, like, no, I'm here just like anybody else is here. I need you to respect me and take me serious. Even if I have to use the little white man, I can't remember the white man's name, but he has supported them from day one at the little label. Like, even if I have to come in here with him for me to, get into these type of spaces, I just love Divine and Power. Like, everybody's just so freaking smart. I just love how they took like street economics and brought it into spaces like this. Divine was on it all episode. Like, Bobby, I don't have time to fuck around with you. We can't be asking for extensions, going in there looking unprofessional. I don't know what you got to do, but you need to hurry up and do it now, because you're not going to make me look bad. You're not going to make, the Wu look bad. Like, yeah, we got to come up in here with this dude. I love how they had the contrast here of Lil Baby here. He got a whole t-shirt, this little open shirt, very casual. Where I got to come in here, I'm in a whole suit, very business minded, and y'all treat me like I came to steal this white lady purse. Don't do me. Like, don't do me. But I love all of Divine's transition in this episode. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was so dope. Divine is on it. He gonna make sure we got. Divine is about longevity. Let's see, what is this here? Oh, we got this is down at NASA. It's like, it is fecal matter on here. Like, oh, it's like, where? Oh, where? Like, is shit on this disc? Yes, we couldn't do anything for it. Like, I love Inspector Deck. When I think about Inspector Deck, the first thing I think about is the opening on the Triumph like mix. Like, when Triumph comes on and Inspector Deck comes out, that opening verse, like, oh man, he just didn't get no shine. Like, damn. I love Method Man. I love the whole nine. Speaking of Method Man, where is he? Like, I'm hoping they don't pull that same shit that they pulled those last few seasons where he's just not there. I'm thinking they're on some like contractual obligated type stuff, and it's just gonna be like, every time we see Method Man, Dave East is Method Man, I swear he's referencing, I love my woman. Like, were those the notes that Meth gave y'all? Like, don't talk about me. Don't show me. I do understand that we don't see him in this episode because he is supposed to be on tour. And, for Takal, and he's blowing up at the moment. But he just has absolutely no presence. Like, and he is probably one of the most notable and well-known and some favorite members out of the whole Wu-Tang. So for Method Man to just be non-existent here, that shit pisses me off every time. Like, it's either give him, the right way, or I just don't want to see him. I just don't even want to see him if it's not going to be portrayed the right way. Yes, I love my girlfriend, my wife, I'm on tour. That is all he says. Like, I feel like he said that same shit last season. Like, is that all you're going to say? Is that all we're going to do? Method Man was on tour for Takao. Yes. And I saw that and I heard that, but it's even when we do kind of see him, it's very like faint presence. It's always like he's referenced to, or Meth, shit's popping in the street. Everybody love Meth, but we don't see Meth. We don't get Meth. We don't get any of his charisma, any of his. We won't get none of that shit. We won't get none of that. Like, he was dirty last season. I had a problem that Dave E shows up looking like a pretty boy. He did it again when we saw him in these little couple of, the braids are extra neat. Like, Method Man went out of his way to look rough and look, unappealing, look street, the one glove, the eyes flipped inside out, the contacts, just look grimy. Like, it's not giving Method Man. Like, everybody else is kind of low-key killing their character, even when we get to somebody like RZA here, who is very, I understand why we don't see RZA that much. RZA is, the real Asiatic black man. if we gonna see Jizza, he's gonna be talking about 5% and the Muslim culture and not eating no swine, and he's very laid back and reserved. He is in the not in the forefront. He's more in the background. So when we do see him, he is walking out into the woods, enjoying the nature. Like, I'm not here for the parties. I'm not here, to smoke. Like, look at what we are. Like, I'm not here to bask in all of this excess. I just want to, get my music out and be laid back, support my cousin, and we need to find ODB. Other than that, Jizza is laid back. His portrayal is on point. So I'm not expecting to see him all the time. Method Man, by the way, no. And I was just looking, and he was Jizza was in this episode, and he was like, yeah, cuz, when I get on, we ain't gonna have to do this. And I'm like, you won't gotta be in the forefront, Jizza, trying to make sure that is my stuff restored, where's my album? I've been writing. Like, he's like low key trying to get Bobby's attention. And I'm like, your stuff is gonna come out. Jizza Liquid Swords is gonna come out, and it's gonna be everything. Like, you have nothing to worry about. Now, Inspect the Deck, on the other hand, that's who needed to be worried. And we do see that he was worried here in this episode, and he had, all rights to be, because his career just did not pop off. But I love that they are all here in this Wu mansion, and they are just low key supporting each other. It's almost like a little frat house. Let's see what we got here. They show him in one episode when RZA is yeah, and that wasn't enough. Like, he has no presence. I was thinking that with this being the last season, we would get more Method Man, but he's just non-existent. I didn't feel like we got any of him, and we have gotten, granted, that third episode was more so just strictly for ODB, but where is he? I love me some Shameik Moore, though. Like, Shameik Moore is, I'm gonna be sad to see the show go. Like, he bodies Raekwon. Like, every time I see him, I'm reciting the Raekwon verse. He bodies this role. What we get, as far as Dennis, as Ghostface, and Raekwon, and the whole thing, I want that same thing for Method Man. And if we didn't get it, which it confuses me, because that first season he did have a little bit of a stronger presence. But if we're not gonna get it, I'm like, I feel like Method Man said, I don't want to be a part of this. Like, I feel like there's something contractually somewhere where he said, just kind of low key, don't put me in there as much. And that's what we're doing, because there's no reason, especially with kind of Dennis situation, where we get so much of him and Shuri and their relationship. Method Man's still with his wife now. This is when Raekwon was trying to, like, oh, come on, white girls. Like, sir, no. Yeah, Method Man is still with his wife now. Like, if there was any relationship that I would think that they would dive into, if they wanted to go the relationship route, we could put him in there that way. We don't even explore any of that. He's just absolutely non-existent. Look at Raekwon here with his crystal. Like, let me get some crystal. Like, excuse me, if y'all can't pronounce it, we don't need to drink it. let me get a bottle of that crystal. Like, oh, I'm just trying to save my energy for Dennis, because I got so much to say about Dennis ass. We might see ODB doing fantasy remix this season. Man, if we don't never get like anything strong from ODB, I was good. I was good with that third episode. I don't know what everybody else talking about. I could care less, because I really don't be watching stuff. But once we get to the third episode, I had no problem with the third episode. I thought it was fantastic personally. But yeah, we got this crystal. We can't even pronounce it, but we want some, because this is what we need. Let's see. I wonder if they're gonna show the East versus West Coast beef. I don't know. We shall see. Like, that's. I thought the show was gonna get at least two more seasons, but we're gonna see how much they can shove into the show, which is kind of the double-edged sword with the episode, like the ODB dedicated episode. Like, with that, it was great, but we designated one whole episode just to the essence of ODB, which is great, because he deserves that. But I was like, damn, we this is the last season. We could have been trying to talk about some other stuff too. Let's see what other photos I have in here to make sure I touch on everybody. Let's see. Oh, child, this one, he was looking at Dennis like, oh, that's what we doing, Dennis? You gonna do that to Shuri? That's what's happening? All right, nigga. Like, okay. I thought you was trying to be faithful. Like, what you doing? Like, even with that, and it's mostly in the second episode, but I love the evolution of his relationship with Dennis. Like, it is just so dope to see them be besties now, like real life homeboys. When in those first couple of episodes, they was beefing and trying to kill each other. The transition has just been immaculate. Like, oh, where are my pictures of Dennis? Because we need to talk about Dennis. Here we go. Wow. I can remember reviewing last season and I was like, I wonder when the transition is going to happen for Dennis, because the Dennis that we are getting now in these episodes, shy, he's unsure about his verses, he doesn't know where he stands in the group when in comparison to, like Inspector Deck, Raekwon, like they have their own thing. Their rhymes are so good. I don't know if mine will stand up. I'm trying to make it with my baby Shuri. We trying to, live our best life. We got our baby. I'm trying to, get some money. This here, this is what I was waiting on. Like, I knew it was coming because the Ghostface Killer persona versus the Dennis that we have gotten for those last two seasons, that's a completely different person. This one here, when we have everybody just collectively in that kitchen and we George forming it up, and he calls from the tub with a bottle of champagne, says, bring me up a sandwich and, make sure ain't no grease in. I was like, okay, now it starts. Dennis is about to get on my nerves. Dennis is about to get on my nerves. Like, Dennis is, I can't even remember exactly what he said. I should have wrote it down. But when he tells Shuri, like, he's the sun, she's like, if you're the earth and, I'm the moon. He's like, Dennis is about to do the most. Dennis is about to do the most. I think Dennis is indulging in the excess more than anybody. Like, he is, I wish through the writing we would dive into situations like this more. Of course, this is a scene where we have them gearing up to, have a party and meetings and get ready. We have things to talk about with labels. Just like, put some clothes on, Dennis. It's like, no, this is what I'm wearing. This is it. I think that they're not saying it, but this is what Dennis tried to do to make himself stand out. We're still leaning off of him just feeling a little inadequate as far as his place in the group, and I need to pop out and be different. So this is what I am going to do to make myself different. I'm not going to wear a suit. I'm not, dressed. I'm going to wear this role. What the hell is this? The elegant shit. This that luxury. Like, okay. While everybody is, looking at him crazy. Now, of course, this is Ghostface Killer. This is his whole signature, like the whole super duper, like, eagle on his freaking arm, the dookie double rope chain, just this massive jewelry. But I think that this was all just to kind of undercut him just not feeling very confident in himself or his place in the group or as an MC. Personally, that's what I got from it. Let me see what you guys are saying in these comments. Let's see. The reason why I asked about East versus West is because Wu-Tang wasn't really involved in the beef. Besides, MCA was in Can It Be Also Simple video, and Method Man was in All Eyes on Me album. This is... Yeah, I was like, sure, you're setting yourself up to fail, girl. Like, this is not gonna make it. Y'all ain't gonna make it. We always knew they weren't gonna make it because we know, how it ends. But with her saying, first of all, you live in a house away from me, with a house full of men where y'all have, excess parties, women running around everywhere. But with Shuri's, like, standard of, that's that road stuff. You need to promise me that you're always gonna come home to me. Like, that's all he got to do. That's all he got to do. Like, ma'am, do not set yourself up for failure. Like, we've grown with their relationship for the entire series, and I'm like, man, it's just about to get shitted on. Y'all not gonna make it. He about to cheat on you, girl. He about to cheat on you with homegirl from freaking Empire. It's oh, see, yeah, this here. This is what we know. This is what we are getting into, these furs, like all this lavishness and all this stuff. And then we have just Shuri just at home taking care of the baby. Of course she is enjoying and really reveling in his success because she always believed in Dennis even when he didn't believe in himself. But Dennis Dennis is about to stray. And they are not, subtle about the little transition of him about to start talking to another woman. And I'm low key a little sad for it because I love their relationship, but we all pretty much saw this coming. We knew that this was going to happen. Oh, here you go. Here they go. This is just a recipe for disaster. Y'all got this whole house, this Wu mansion to yourself, where pretty much anything goes. Like we hear the dudes, like I think it was Inspector Jizza, like they're constantly having sex. There are women over, and then you meet a woman who piques your interest. I love how he tried to walk away. Like Dennis, you weren't trying to walk away. He didn't put up enough fight for Shuri to me. He didn't put up enough fight for her. Like you should have walked off a little quicker. It's, oh, just my temples. I got a headache and I'm just so stressed out. I can help you with that. No, she can't. She can't help you with nothing. She about to mess up your relationship. Well, he about to mess up his own damn relationship because he didn't try to walk away. He didn't do enough. I almost had faith. I thought that we would, get some will they, won't they thing, or maybe have him have a fight with Shuri or her not something. It was like instant. He just sat down and let this lady, this stranger, rub on his temples because she fine. Now, granted, there are fine women running around the entire place, but it was just something about her. It's that blonde T-Boz cut. That's what it is. That it's just like, oh, hey, what's up? How you doing? And eventually, we're not gonna worry about her. And sure, it's just so cool and so sweet. I'm just not looking forward to her being hurt because she has held you down. Like they said here, he's talking about that restaurant that he took her to in that, I think that first season, when they were sneaking around when the show was real good. When they were sneaking around, it's just like, look how far we've come. We can go there anytime we want to. But it's just something about his energy that is just extremely off to me, to where I feel like his entire character is about to change. And the Dennis that we know and love, that was just all about, I gotta make it for Shuri, for my baby, my family, that's gonna leave. Dennis just about to be all about himself and in his furs and dookie rope chains. He's gonna turn into Ghostface Killer, and sure he's not gonna enjoy that. Ghostface Killer, he gonna get all the hoes and be cheating and sleeping with women, drinking crystal. It's not gonna be good. It is not gonna be good at all. I feel so sorry for her. Let's see what else we got in here, because we gotta talk about Power. I always forget about Power. I don't know how I forget about Power, because Power is a strong. I love how Power always pops up. Like, remember that money I gave y'all? Like, remember that money I gave y'all when I asked to do something? I want to make something happen. All I want to hear is yes, because y'all wouldn't be here without me. Like, he don't say that, but that's just the energy. That's just the energy that I take from it. But just like Divine, I love Power. Power is very much so business minded. We know from those first seasons that he always, business minded, and came from a family business of them running that local clothing store. And he is just taking what he knows, taking that knowledge of clothing and trying to put that into Wu Wear. Wu Wear it did pretty well for the time. Like, it's I think it I don't know. I don't think it's still established unless this like limited edition type stuff, but it did really well. I love how forward thinking he is, just to say that, it's not about hip hop or just clothing. Like, why are we putting other labels on our bodies? Like, we can make our own wear and it can look different. Like, when he tells old dude, like, yeah, this is like, no, I don't wear that. I wear a double XL. Like, this is when, men were wearing everything super duper duper baggy. And he's like, he's just, everybody's just so on their shit. Like, I just love to see them succeeding, even though, like, shit is going to eventually hit the fan. But Power is always and forever about his money. Like, even not even just woo wear, just about like diversify your funds, niggas. Like, it ain't always gonna be about money. Like, it's so many instances here where you see that, as far as RZA is concerned, Divine and Power, they're very much so ahead of their time as far as the industry, because everybody was just really content with, oh, I got signed, I get to, make money and rap and release CDs, and I'm just content with being an artist. Just like, no, we can be more than artists. We can do marketing and slap our logo on pretty much anything and sell it. Like, very forward thinking. Like, keep a Power in your corner. Power is on Power. I just love his whole dynamic. Everything Power has to offer. Let's see. Yeah, go get your boss. Like, I need to talk to the lady in charge. Yeah, like this is cool. I think it's because the label, or like these shirts. Like, I have a couple of these shirts in my closet. Like, it was just something about their dynamic that just looked like today. It wasn't giving me 95. Oh, here we go. Here we go with you, God. I was so glad they gave you, God, some lines this season, because, last season, roll, I'm going to give it to you. Like trivia. Cocaine shit from Bolivia. Emancipation Proclamation. That's all he did. Like, he did that last season and went to jail. Like, they gave a boy no lines. They gave him absolutely no lines, but here he has a strong presence stronger presence in the episodes that we saw. Not so much this one, but I think more so the second one. But I think here we just have him kind of basking in the success with everybody else's lavish house. Like, we have a pool with our logo on it, trying to tell Bobby, take some time to breathe and relax. Like, look at where we are. It's just like, no, I don't have time for that. It's just my opinion, y'all. Go subscribe to B channel. B is popping over there. He talking about all things Marvel. He on red carpets doing it up. Go look at B's channel. Hey, B. But yeah, power is just not Power. You God, I'm just glad that You God has a stronger presence, because even though I know his dynamic with Wu-Tang is really fractured, especially when it comes to RZA, they do not get along. Like, I don't think they get along to this day. But I'm like, don't shortchange him in the grand scheme of things. If he's here, unlike our Dave East Method Man character, give my man some lines. Like, don't this was all. That's all he was doing last season. That's all he was doing last season. He was not doing anything else. But I'm just glad that he's here. And I even think if it's not this episode, I think it's the next one where he is just like, why are we taking out life insurance and health insurance? Like, nobody is thinking about the future. Nobody is thinking about the future. Nobody is thinking about anything happening. And I was with Divine because I was like, you of all people need to be thinking about some life insurance and some savings, because your damn debut album came out with Inspector Dex. Your stuff came out in 99. Like, that whole flood just really changed the whole dynamic of the releases. But with him not really being it's so hard, because all of them are talented, all of them are really strong MCs and lyrical, but he just wasn't, every things like, maybe Ghostface, Raekwon, Method Man, ODB, they had really distinctive things to set them apart outside of them being lyrically inclined. Only thing that really set You God apart was when you heard all of them on the record, you knew it was them, but it was like he had that really strong voice, but he just, I don't know. He kind of played the background as far as the members, just that presence wasn't as strong. So he couldn't really capitalize on his career with his debut coming out in 99. Like, you need to be saving your money right along with Inspector Deck, because that album is going to come out, but it's not going to come out in a time of 99. Wu was still popping, but it was, they had kind of saturated the industry with all things Wu, especially with RZA producing every single album and dropping albums from 94 all the way to 99. Like, people just wasn't checking for it. It was just sad. Not mid. You said it was mid, okay. You God was musically mid. Yeah, but I like a lot of, You God's verses within Wu-Tang, but You God as a solo artist, I just really don't find myself going back to listen to any of his solo records. But he's equally talented. It just has to be something else to draw you in, because all of them were talented. But I like this hat though. This hat was popping. I love the hat. Absolutely love the hat. Let's see. Am I leaving out of anything? I don't even want to see this. Like, what we supposed to do with this? What we supposed to do with this? Like, they're really pissing me off with the portrayal of Method Man. I, oh no, child, we ain't gonna forget Buster Buzz because I was like, who is this and why? I want a little, I wanted more for Method Man, as I said in the beginning, but like the nod, like yeah, we getting a remix, and I'm like, I don't know what the hell we're supposed to do with this. Just for him to say he missed his girl and I was on tour. We didn't need that. They need to do something else with his character. Who's this? Yes, he does. You got one of my favorite voices. Yes, he does. He has a really great voice, really great voice. I think maybe if he came out when Wu-Tang was really popping, if his album was kind of released in that time, that same time frame, he would be stronger. But it wasn't. We got, Built for Cuban Links and I think is it Iron Man or Iron Maiden? I think it's Iron Man with Ghostface, and of course we had to Cal, and we got Brooklyn Zoo, but like it didn't come out on time. But yeah, this they can keep this. This is like the weakest point of the show. This and Ashton Sanders being ashy with chaplets, weakest points of the show. Those points in the show like really like those upset me. But just this energy here, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this Method Man that with all of this strong essence, this charisma, all this presence, this is absolutely missing, and it absolutely. Oh Lord, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, what was this? I was like, sir, you have some beautiful dreads. We have, this up and coming party, and it's supposed to be celebrating not only Takao really performing really well, but Raekwon is, coming out with his album, and it's just like, you are really doing it, RZA. You are doing what we always thought. But I was like, what is this? The essence of Busta Bus was not here at all. This was tired. I did not like that. Did this give y'all any Busta? Because it didn't give me none. It didn't give me no Busta. It didn't give me any. Let's see. You God looks like Rick James. And I'm not saying that as a diss, they have very similar facial structures. I would never put you God and Rick James together. But I see what you're talking about, though, especially when he looks like Spanky in life. I can see it. I can see it. Yeah, this was not at all giving me Busta Rhymes at all. Like, I was happy that he was here. Of course, I love how they tried to give him a little backpack. His character looked exactly like he did in Higher Learning. Like, I guess he was just supposed to be walking off the set. No, don't do that no more. ODB. ODB, like, I was a little disappointed with the writing as far as ODB is concerned because I remember saying in my past reviews that ODB here is just so mellow, so relaxed. And I wonder how we get from this into him transitioning into the drugs. And here we just kind of jumped into it to where he was, sniffing coke off of a stripper's ass, and we just have him, running around looking for a fix. Like, I was like, this escalated quickly. I expected a little bit more as far as an explanation for that. Of course, they have it painted here as him being upset that Bobby didn't, contact him about the Elektra deal. He wanted to be signed to Def Jam, which is why he has been MIA. Nobody has seen him. But how we just jumped, like, I think as soon as we saw him, he was sniffing coke. I was like, I really wanted a little bit more of an explanation, even though it's, displayed as him being upset. Like, is that the sole reason why he got into the drugs? Like, is that it? That was a catalyst that I didn't get signed to Def Jam. That's why because from the first couple of seasons, I can see if they kind of showed him dabbling and that this was always kind of present. But with those first seasons, we don't really depict him as doing anything outside of maybe smoking weed from what I remember. So for us to just jump immediately into him just kind of like low key being a beginning addict, I didn't know how to think about that. Am I wrong? Did you guys expect something more from that? I didn't expect to just jump directly into, oh, ODB is mad. I didn't get signed to Def Jam. I want some coke and some strippers. And then I think it's the writing, because I think they were also trying to say that he he's in hiding. He doesn't really want to be attached to, Wu-Tang, or really, I guess, kind of dive into that celebrity. We have multiple people. Like, first of all, ODB is a hot ass commodity at this point. Like, all through this episode, everybody wants to know where's ODB. Everybody loves him. He's being recognized, on the street. Like, aren't you older? Like, no, that's not me. It's kind of like he's shunning the celebrity. So I'm like, was that supposed to be like, oh, this is too much? I don't like all of this. I like when I was just able to walk down the street and just be myself and go unrecognized. Is he like shunning celebrity, and that's pushing us into the drugs? Like, I wanted more than what we got. I was like, this was brief. Yeah, that did not make sense. Oh, I'm just checking because I was like, I thought we would get a deeper explanation for that. I was like, okay, did I miss a season because this is odd? Good, because okay, because I feel like I'll be having higher expectations for these shows sometimes. And let's say, right, he went from weed to sniffing. Yeah, like us getting here to from the ODB that we met, we have, like 2 seasons of him being like, he's always ODB. He's very rambunctious and has all of this energy, and that's him. He's, personality. But as far as him being an addict and being on drugs, which we know eventually happened, I thought that we would get kind of something as to this is really why this happened and why he chose to kind of low key self destruct. I that wasn't it. That didn't. Yes, I was looking for that too. I was looking for that also. It says ODB had a wife and kids at this time. Yes, I know, because this was around the time that he even wanted to. This is how he got caught by getting in that freaking limo, going to collect assistance and get his food stamps, which is why he wanted it on the cover. Like, I want my food stamp ID, the whole thing, as my album cover. He got caught. I think he was on MTV or something, trying to pull up in his limo. It's free money. It's free money. Like, I ain't turning down no free money. It's like, who are you up here rolling up to get these food stamps, and you have all of this money? Like, you're a whole platinum selling ass artist. You're a part of Wu-Tang. And he got investigated, I believe. But yeah, there's no presence of that. We have him, of course, all these women, the strippers. He's getting head. It's like he completely is just diving into overload in excess. Whereas old ODB, he was very romantic in the show. He was, trying to low key. It was like very subtle the way that he came at women, in the way that he approached, sex, or there was just some sensitivity and some nuance to his personality. Here it's just like, now we on drugs. Like, why? I want to know why. I want to know why. Let me see what you guys are saying in this chat. Let's see. Remember, NYS took him to court for getting food stamps. Yes! Yes, they did. Let's see. The timeline is off. Yes, it is. They're trying to make it seem like he was single or something. Yeah, I just feel like that they decided to kind of push that to the wayside as far as the man being in a relationship. I was like, why are we focusing so much on RZA and this girlfriend? I don't know a whole lot about RZA and his relationships. I don't tie him to that. I think about him on the production side. But when it comes to relationships, I know for sure that ODB had a gang of kids. I think he had like 10 plus, maybe upwards of 12 and 13 children in his lifetime. So by this time, he was married and he did already have 3 kids. And we have, Method Man. He's well known for his relationship, but we are choosing to focus on Ghostface and Shuri, whereas I knew nothing about that. I never knew that he was involved with RZA's sister or any of that. Like, that's just not what I really tie into. When I think about the guys and their relationships, I think about Method Man because he has been with his wife the longest, and I think about ODB because he was all outside with them children trying to get those food stamps, and he just loved children in general. Like, I think about him being with his kids and his wife sitting there being all for his shenanigans. But here she is completely non-existent. But it's a whole lot of choices, and we're going to get into the choices of that, because when it comes to where is ODB, what is he doing? We need him here. We have this big deal coming up. Then all of a sudden, we are, of course, buying. We've been walking the streets. We are approaching people trying to bootleg Wu-Tang stuff on the street. Like, we can't do that. When is your album coming out? It's like, I don't want to be attached to Wu-Tang. I'm not really feeling that right now because of what Bobby did, but I do need some money. I am out here and I am broke. And I'm assuming, of course, once we get into the next episode, he says, all of my money is gone. And I'm assuming that we blew all of this money supposedly on drugs and strippers. But we have him about to buy some drugs and he gets caught. He runs into somebody's home that has a dog. He's trying to, evade arrest. The dog is approaching him and he literally dives out the window and plummets on the cement. When did that happen? Did this happen? Because from my understanding, once we get into the next episode and we have him kind of we have Shuri going to, check on him, and he of course steals her car and he just leaves the hospital without being discharged. Anytime I hear about that happening, it's when I think he was at a friend's house or a friend's party. Something happened, but he got shot. And he was, admitted to the hospital for being shot. I think he got shot in his back or something like that. And he left and didn't stay around. He wasn't discharged or anything. He just left the hospital the same way he did in that episode. So I'm like, are you guys tailoring this episode to kind of fit a certain narrative, or you guys, want to inject a little, I guess, action into this? Like, did this happen? Am I missing anything? Like, can anybody tell me if this happened? Because from my recollection and what I could find, this did not occur. Did ODB jump out of a window trying to avoid an attack dog about to get arrested for some drugs? Did this happen? Anybody know if this happened? Please let me know in the chat. Let's see. He had a family at that time. Yes, he did. He lived with his family at the time. Yes, he did. Yes, it happened. What? ODB dived out of a damn window? Oh my God. Oh my God. I had no clue. I knew nothing about this. I swear I thought for all of 2 seconds they were trying to turn on the charm, like, oh, let's really, dive into ODB's story and turn it up a notch, because they just completely dived into him being on drugs, and we low-key got no explanation for that. We have no trace, no presence of his kids or his family at all. And then we just have him on drugs, trying to make a buy, window out, face plant. Like, this happened? That is crazy. That is absolutely insane. Oh my gosh. I can't believe this happened. Oh man, so share a link in my comments, something, because I need to read. Let's see. Watch Celebrity Underrated channel about ODB. Wow. I had no clue about that. I didn't know that happened. I thought that they were trying to just turn it up a notch with his story, but I will go and look a bit further to see when, where, and exactly how that happened, because that is just absolutely crazy. Because when he went out the window, I was like, oh shit. I was highly surprised. Then, of course, here in the end, by this time, we have finally had Bobby's girlfriend just get him to relax. Like, he's finally toning down. We are about to have a party. I can indulge a little bit. Let me have a drink. And then it's just like, Gertie is in the hospital. It's just like, damn, I can't never have 5 minutes. There will never be a time for me to wind down. Oh man. Let's see. He was really a wild boy. Yeah. I had no clue that took place. But as far as the episodes, I felt like episode 1 was a very strong opening. I enjoyed episode 1. I really did. I think I enjoyed every single episode increasingly better than the first, which is awesome. I can't believe that happened. He jumped out of a window. That is insane. No, ODB had some crazy stuff happen to him back then. Yeah, I just want to know just how far they are gonna go, or because them tailoring him as a single man, not to know what he did in his private life, but this man had whole children. Like, nobody is really depicted here to have any children except for Ghostface Killer, Dennis. Let's see. I think at that point we get into episode 2. Can you guys leave a comment to let me know if I missed anything in episode one? I can't really, I think I covered everything though. I think so. Let's see, I'm gonna I'm gonna look that up. Yeah, we're gonna look that up because I had no clue about that. I thought that they were just cocaine is a hell of a drug. Yes, it is. So much cocaine. Like, I just really I don't know why I expected this show to like kind of tell us like where did ODB go wrong? Like, because I have seen so many older interviews where his energy and he's still, you could tell that despite everything that's going on, he is very intelligent and his mind kind of thinks differently. The energy is there, but it's not the same energy that he gives when he is on drugs. He was a little tamer and a little bit more calm, just like he was in those first two seasons. So I really wanted to know the shift change of how we got there. But according to the show, it's because we were mad at Bobby because we didn't get signed to Def Jam, and we're just kind of shunning celebrity, and this is just all too much for me. All right. Guess we just gonna have to accept that. Yeah, this is. Oh Lord, this was so hilarious. I love this. This is when Shuri's asking him, "What the heck has happened to you?" He's like, "Yeah, I was trying to save a kitten from like the most elaborate lying story." I just love that she entertained him. She's like, "Mm-hmm, like what? Like yeah, like I know you lying, like just absolutely insane." Oh man, let's see. It's like, come on, they have children that's in their 20s and 30s, so they had to be born during this time. Yeah, nobody else is depicted to have any children. I expected a little bit more energy from Raekwon. I'm like, oh, I guess Raekwon was just running behind white women at this time, according to this episode. All right. But you got to take everything with a grain of salt. Because I'm like, I know that they cannot cover every single thing, but some stuff I wish they would dive a little deeper beyond them just kind of living in the Wu Mansion and I guess dealing with being around each other, because we have a lot to cover in just 10 or so episodes. He steals Shuri's whole car. I would have been pissed off. She was so calm, like, oh, this dirty being dirty. Like, I would have been so pissed off. I love how she treated him in this episode because just from the dirty that we got before, he's very childlike in his energy, but I never really just got super duper immature off of him. This little episode here, he was like a baby in grown up skin. I was like, damn, like, is this an effect of the drugs? Which it isn't, because it's kind of like, this is how you have been for your entire life. If you want to be treated as, an adult and be respected and be taken seriously, you have to conduct yourself that way. Like, you're acting really childish right now. Like, I couldn't believe he stole her car. Like, did this happen? Did this is what is confusing me, because this whole scenario here of him just checking out of the hospital, running out in his gown, not saying anything, jumping in the car, this happened, but it didn't happen in this way. That's why I wasn't really sure if this was true or not. Let's see. Let's see. I just looked it up. RZA said back in 2013 that Dirty did jump out of a window, but it happened at the hospital after he was shot. Okay. that's making a little bit more sense, because I was like, he got shot. But okay. That makes sense. Thank you. Yes, I said snow bunnies. Mess first child was not born until 96. Let's see. Low key, yes, so mad. He loves the snow bunny. Yeah. I would have never known if it wasn't for this show, child. I thought we was, black chocolate girls want to shake down like thunder. Politics, break respect for your death. Give me your number. Your sexy, persuasive, top size of thighs. I thought we was French vanilla butter pecan chocolate deluxe. I don't know, these are snow bunnies. What's going on? But here we have Shuri like, yeah, he just stole my car. Just the lengths that he is going to avoid Bobby. Like, I guess that's that immaturity coming into play. Like, you have to think about the bigger picture. You not being here, you not writing any material, you not being, a part of the production process. you got us lagging out here. We are continuing in this episode to try to push back because we don't know where ODB is. He hasn't recorded anything. We don't know if he's going to show up. Can we have more time? And it's low key already, starting to kind of make them look bad. And Bobby is frustrated, but he's more so concerned with finding him so he can, we can talk it out. We are still family at the end of the day. Let's see, haha. Maybe it was. I don't know what it was, child, but I don't see why there will be a creative choice. Like we very strong with snow bunnies. Matter of fact, it happened 2 times. ODB jumped out of a person's window after being chased by dogs. Child, how do we get there? I want to know how do we got how we got there, because this isn't where we are in the show now. Is not too far removed from where we were at the end of the last season when Into the 36 Chambers was released. We're like a couple of months or so, 6 months maybe removed from that. Like, if they would have displayed him last season at least, maybe, going kind of astray, getting a little bit more satisfaction or just interest in the drugs or something, maybe. But the leaps that his character has went through from that last season to what we're getting now in these first couple of episodes, it's a big one. It's a very big one in my opinion. So to just get like, oh, we jumping out of windows and we, trying to buy some coke off the corner. What? Let's see. RZA was more into Asians back then. Child, not from we can see. But I have this little kung fu here to just get into the whole thought process as far as Dennis and Raekwon are concerned. Like, I really love their dynamic. Like, the way that they talk to each other is so freaking New York and so friendly. Like, yo, kid, we can like Butch Cassidy and Sundance, and yeah, man, like you Tony, man, you Scarface. Like, I just love the way that they talk to each other. Like, it's so great from that first season that we saw where they were literally at each other's throat trying to kill each other. You really get to see the process in their growth and how much they complement each other, to where he would like have his back or be featured on every single, like he said, no, I want you to do this album with me. I want you featured on every single song on Built for Cuban Links. And just how they collectively play off of each other. Like, I thought that was just so dope. And I just love their brotherhood, because those first seasons, especially when Raekwon pulled up and shot at the house and his brothers were in there, I didn't know if they was gonna come back from that. There was so much tension set. Of course, we know they are, but there was so much tension placed, for the groundwork of their friendship and them just not liking each other. To see them like be low key brothers now, it's just it's so appealing. Like, I love it. I love this. But I love the process of them just coming up with the Built for Cuban Links just themes. Like, yeah, we can go to Belize and record the whole album. Like, just talking like just absolutely just talking. I do love that they are focused on their music, but I did notice once we have them talking and they are walking through the woods, it's him and Dennis, and we have Raekwon just kind of going bar for bar. This is what I'm thinking about putting on the album. This is, we got Candy Beat It was also simple playing throughout the episode. I was getting my life. But then when it's time for Dennis, like, what are you working on, Dennis? We have yet to see Dennis rap in the episodes. Did anybody see Dennis rap and I missed it? I did not see Dennis. I feel like he pulled the whole like, oh, it's something outside in the woods. Let's just go back in the house. I felt like he pulled that because he's still not really confident in himself as an MC. So we are putting on kind of this mask. We donning the robes, and his energy, his attitude has changed a little bit. He's starting to look at other women. I feel like he's still kind of like, I don't know if I'm the strongest MC just yet. Let's see. Low key, they keep trying to make it well known. Yes, they did. I came in late. I don't know who's behind the creation of this show. RZA is at the forefront of the creation of this show. I think Ghostface had Delphonics with him doing a shootout. Really? They have some stories to tell. Like, I doubt they can just fit it all into this show, which is disappointing because I feel like they had so much more. I could have gotten like 4 seasons of this show and been solid. But I'm just curious to see how we're gonna do that with this. But I just love their whole friendship. Raekwon is everything. Shamik is doing an awesome job. But yeah, I feel like Dennis is still. I've heard everybody rap. We heard RZA, Inspector Deck is all on Front Street. Like, we need to get my stuff restored because I want my album to come out too. But Dennis, I think the most we heard him say is, I'm not sure about, my verse, or he didn't say that. He said something to Raekwon in the frame of, I'm not, ready for this success or the expectations of being outside of Wu-Tang and all of us releasing our solo projects. What if my solo project doesn't hold up to everybody else's? And we have him kind of having the migraines and stuff, or just being over them all living. I think it's just stress because he feels inadequate as an MC, honestly. Which would explain all the bravado and the chain and the first. See, I think Ghostface. Oh, I already read that, child. Let me see. Let's see, who else are we touching on? But I love their friendship. It's just blossomed so much. It's dope. Oh, we got ODB, child. ODB's on the couch. ODB is trying to be Cherie's second child because he is absolutely doing the most. I was glad that he came back with the car and he did like what he's such a man child. Like, how do we get here? He was so like those first seasons, he was so intricate in kind of getting the music. Like, he low key had a whole lot of ideas. He was childlike, but there was so much maturity to him in his character, in the way that he went about, getting people's attention or just being that people person. To get to this, to where we are on drugs and we have RZA reading off like, oh no, it's not just coke. He is on PCP, marijuana, it's alcohol. It's so many different things in his system. Like, he is just binging on drugs. Like, when did we get here? When did we get here? Like, I wanted more. I wanted more for ODB. I wanted a whole lot more. Let's see, Ghost top 10 of all time. Yes, Ghost is very much so top 10, which was great with those first seasons of seeing like you of all people felt like your bars weren't going to stand up in comparison to your counterparts, whether it's in the industry or in your group. But I wish that they would put more of a stamp on, I think, all of his bravado and the chains and the gaudy large, extra large stuff, just to stand out. I wish that they would attach that more to him just not feeling like he's the greatest of the MC, because that's what makes sense to me. They're not really talking about it, but that's what I think it is. It's crazy how the RZA making beats for the Clan after the flood. Yeah, that was incredible. Like, I wonder the music that we would have got if that flood never happened, because he was able to salvage some things, but a lot of things just was like a start over. Like, I really want to know what that music would have sounded like, because what we got was incredible. So if what you had, it may have been a blessing. Who knows? Who knows? But this is where we have Shuri like, you need to grow up. You need to grow up. Like, we have the group depending on you. This whole entire episode is just waning on the fact of, is ODB going to show up for Elektra for this meeting? I absolutely love when he did showed up, because it was such a callback to what we get now of, the young MCs now coming in, performing, trying to do their shit, standing on the middle of the table, really trying to sell themselves to a label. He's such a goat. Like, ODB is just such a special person. And TJ Adams, I was trying to say what I had to say about TJ Adams for episode 3, but he is incredible as ODB. Like, I absolutely love it. It's going to be like a detriment to his career, in my opinion, because I'm never not going to see TJ Adams and think about ODB, because it's like this right now. Like, it's perfection. It is absolutely perfection. I love it. But you kind of have like, this is when he's whining and complaining about the clothes. I love how she was trying to give him Dennis' old clothes that we saw from last season. She's like, can you just give me, well, can you, like, I've been waiting on you hand and foot. I need you to get up and do something. Like, this is not what we're doing. You're letting yourself down, and you are letting, your family down and the rest of the group. Like, get out of here with this. Let's see. What else are we skipping? Oh, child, I think this is when we have Bobby getting broken up with. Anybody cared about Bobby getting broken up with? I didn't care. You have his girlfriend just kind of realize like it's never going to be about us. You're never going to sleep in the bed with me. You're always going to be kind of MIA, doing your own thing or just really focused on all things group. With everything constantly happening, Bobby feels like he needs to control and try to help and just do everything. It's like you can never do anything. When are you going to take a chance to appreciate our relationship, smell the flowers, live in this house, hell, sleep in the bed with me, hell, give me sex on the regular? Like, where are you in this relationship? But the way that they went about it, and he was like I love you, like, oh, like the acting was really great in the scene. She was crying on cue. It was real good. It was really good, but I just didn't believe it because we really haven't, invested a whole lot of time. Like when the situation happens with Shuri and Dennis, and it's gonna happen, we're gonna feel it and care about it. But with the relationship that he has with his girlfriend that we have seen, it's just I'm not invested in them as a couple to be like, oh man, he losing her. Like I was like, all right. Like, all right, this is cool, but it hurts him and he just really feels like he lost something. And this coincides with not only have I lost my woman, but I have had to relinquish a project to somebody like P. Diddy. You your daddy's son. Diddy's son here portraying him is perfection. Like he gives his daddy's energy all day long. It's not even, him just looking like him. Like he really is like acting like his dad. But I wasn't surprised. Of course, we knew that the All I Need remix was gonna go to Puff, but and I love me some RZA, but as far as remixing a song, nobody was touching Bad Boy and P. Diddy at that time. Nobody. Remixes were his specialty. I think RZA was a little salty because of course it goes up and it performs and all I need is all I need is like all I need. It's such an anthem and it's such a great song. So I'm sure maybe to this day he sees it as kind of like a missed opportunity as far as what could have been. But with the way that RZA makes beats and the way that he might remix something, he was never gonna go for Tammy and Marvin Gaye. All I Need and combine it. That was like more so P Diddy's thing. Like it would have sounded totally different. Now, whoever they had singing the All I Need verse that was supposed to be Mary J. Blige, stop. Like, absolutely stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. But I thought that was I thought he did a great job. I think Diddy's son, I feel like he was. I mean, you can't really tell if he's acting because I'm just like it's not all that hard to play your own father. But he did good for the little time that we did see him. Now, as far as you guys like bringing up the East Coast West Coast beef, and I guess Diddy kind of popping up to say, we got to look out for each other, have each other's backs. I don't know, or I think they might get into the East Coast, West Coast, because with him saying that, I think that's kind of reverting back to, all of us New York niggas need to, stand together and all this other good stuff. So I'm wondering if we are going to see Diddy's son portray him again, because he did a good job. Now we got Divine here. I do not have a picture, but Divine's girl is still there. She is big and pregnant. I was so happy to see her because she was holding his whole family down. Sure, was living there. Dennis was popping in. Bobby was coming through. Like she held him down for a minute. So to see her there helping with the space, you see that Divine is trying to really kind of uplift their image and get this prime location as far as their headquarters. And it is of course costing more money, but it's more about the look and what this building says. And he's trying to get all of that into play as far as their vision, but he's also having to stay on top of the money. Bobby is on production and all he's like on that. The money is all Divine. The money is all Divine. Like he has a whole lot on his goddamn shoulders because I could never, like, you got 10 dudes hanging off of your like tit as far as when am I gonna get paid? Absolutely not. Like with him being on top of the money, I was completely like flabbergasted as to why we gave everybody their own individual credit cards. And then, when we have somebody like Power roll up with the actual business venture, like this is to, put money back into the brand, back into the group with Woo Wear, something I am well versed in as far as, getting the business started, clothing lines, prime locations. It's like, well, this ain't a good time. Money's kind of low. Power's like, yeah, I don't want to hear that shit. Look at this. Like, no, I need that. Like, that's where I would have. I think they were just trying to do too much at once. Like, it's just too much. I think that if they would have started off a little slower and maybe gave us another Wu album, and really like low key got back to individual things, but with them always wanting to be individual MCs, it just went that way. But I feel like they did. I think they took on too much, because you already see the running theme throughout the first two episodes. We're running out of money. We're losing money. If we don't get this album by this date, we're gonna lose money there. Like, they're spending money before they got it. I just feel like the downfall is coming. Even though we are currently making it, we still have labels to pay back, people to answer to. And then you have Bobby with the deals that he made with the men. They are pretty much getting half, which is, awesome. But that's like really unheard of as far as, business practices. Of course, I'm going to get this, and, you might get a little, like, no, he is literally giving everybody half of their money. That's crazy. He like, I don't care what nobody say. If that's how it really went down, he really looked out for them. Whatever y'all do with that money, that's your business. But don't, it's a lot of them, there's so many interviews with everybody upset. And when it comes to like who's the most upset, most of the time it's, a breakdown of the finances and the money. But it's like, I think he did the best he could with what he had. Now, they would have had less. Everybody wouldn't have no credit card. We see them in the club, like they're just spending so much freaking money that they do not have yet. I just hope that the bottom doesn't get pulled from under them before, because we know RZA's good and he has his money, but like what happened to everybody else? What happened to somebody like a Youth God, or we hear the horror stories like, where is Capadonna? Where is Capadonna? I saw Master Killer. He's just kind of there. He just kind of popped up, and it's just like, nah, we handing out these Amex cards, but it's just for group members. I'm sorry, Master Killer, you don't get one. He's kind of just there, just kind of hanging out with you, God. He doesn't really have a strong, presence. But I was like, wasn't Capadonna some, like, we kind of got a brief interlude into Capadonna last season, but he's nowhere to be found. He is nowhere to be found. Let's see. But yes, Divine has a baby on the way. Yeah, this is more of them not being business minded, and what we need insurance for. What I need health. What do you think about that for? It's my money and I need it now. I need all of my income now. I just love the way that Bobby's brain works and Divine works, because oh man, they're just so smart, just so freaking brilliant. I wish the entire group was on that, because they would have been like hella successful. But with everybody just kind of coming, like they literally took dudes who were standing on the corner, living in the projects, and could rap, living in Staten Island, and they just instantly got put on. It's just like, we got money. I'm about to lose my mind now. You can't tell me nothing. I just want to spend it. How many bedrooms is in that mansion? It's good hell. It's at least 10. With everybody that's there, like the entire Wu-Tang is living there. I don't know. Method Man isn't there. Does he have a room there? Because we don't get to see his ass. Let's see. I think Cap was in jail around that time. Yeah, they need to tell us that. Like, I just like don't play certain people to the left, because when it comes down to by the time they got to rap on records, and we heard from Master Killer, and we heard Capadonna, like they were a presence in Wu-Tang. So if we're gonna have them here, hell, at least give them something to do. Like maybe that'll come into play later. No, he was in jail during the making of the first album. This is, of course, what happened to Divine's girlfriend. She was there. Shanice. She has a scene when we have Divine. He's talking to execs, trying to push back that meeting the entire time as far as ODB, because they don't have anything. And then he's trying to decorate the office and the new headquarters. She's there helping him. She is still there. She is pregnant. He ain't drop her like a bad habit. I was glad to see her, because I hadn't seen her, and I was like, damn, she was holding the family unit down. Where's she at? It seems like once Wu-Tang blew up in '93, was the same year ODB legal problems started. Yeah, and it'll be nice to get, a little bit more inkling into that, but I just know that they're not going to give us that. Let's see. So we have All I Need remix popping out. We have Papa Diddy Pop, his son here, doing an amazing job as his dad. I feel like we are going to see him again, and I'm looking forward to it. He did a good job as his dad. I don't have anything for Method Man. Like, yes, blow the smoke, Meth. I don't have anything for Method Man. If they're gonna continue to do this with his character moving forward, like, I'm not gonna have anything for him moving forward with talking about the show because it's real tired. Like, he shows up, of course, and says that he approves of the remix and he is happy that Mary J. Blige is on it, and it's gonna blow up, it's gonna perform. Of course, we know it did. He said he loves this woman and he was missing this woman, and he's gone again. Okay, bye. I don't have nothing for that. Like, I feel really smited when they do that because Meth is like one of my favorites, like, from the group, and just favorite people in general. Like, Meth is live as fuck. Why he not in the show? I don't like that. I really don't like that. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like it. Let's see what else we got going on. Oh, we have RZA over here. RZA is kind of pushed to the forefront in this episode as far as his album because ODB is still evading anything Wu-Tang. He won't come to the mansion. He doesn't want to talk to Bobby. And I think by this point we have had him leave Shuri's house and we're just kind of contemplating, like, is he going to go to do more drugs? Or is he going to show up for his people and show up for Bobby and show up for Elektra? But we have some liquid swords, come on up. RZA is performing and he just sees that his cousin is stressed out. And it's just like, when it's my turn and it's my album, you won't have to worry about that. Like, we're going to win. Like, Bobby is just really worried. Like, I didn't come, him and Divine, like, we have come too far to just fall and end up right back where we were. So, yes. I love anybody love nobody like really like talks about Liquid Swords. Like, Liquid Swords is like a really, really dope ass album. Y'all need to talk about that. Everybody's always talking about, Built for Cuban Links. Why ain't nobody talking about that one? It's a good one. RZA is on point. He wants his family to come back together and get it all together. Find your cousin and apologize. Yes, liquid, all that good stuff. I'm hoping that we get some of this in the show. I love when because this is, I don't know where I got this image from, but this is kind of a mock of the Liquid Swords album cover and stuff. But I love those first seasons where we got them to just kind of revert back to animation and this anime like graphic style. I'm hoping that we get some more of that in the season. I saw a little bit in the trailer of them getting off into something else, but I hope we get a little something. Let's see. I think this is about the time that ODB comes back, which I love, where he drops a verse or kind of, I love that. And it's just really sad what happened to ODB because you just see how his mind works. I love that we have Shuri here telling him, you need to grow up and not be so childish. But every single time from this episode to the next one that we have him kind of get into his music, or the place that he needs to reach or tap into to get to his music, or his group members, especially like RZA is all about the lyrics and the flow, the rap, the vocabulary. It's just like, no, what about the hook? We have to bring people in. Like, ODB just brought so much to the group to just be so troubled and just ruin himself. It's tragic. But I love them collaborating in those family dynamics because a lot of the times you can forget that these guys are actually families. We are cousins. We grew up together. Let's see. Meth, Red tried to perform live in Screwston. Their energy was through the roof. Yes, I have no doubt that it was through the roof. No doubt at all. Oh, let's see. Here we have Power. Like, what that money I gave you to hold? Like, you ain't finna sit up here and tell me no. I wasn't feeling that with Divine because I know that they were trying to make sure the guys in the group are good because they are, the face of Wu-Tang. They are, working hard. We're not really working hard, child. Ain't nobody working harder than Bobby. But they have an obligation to really get that music out. The music is what's going to bring the income in, so I'm going to take care of them and give them these credit cards. But y'all can't, don't do power, don't do power. Power is trying to get in where he fits in. We finna diversify these funds. I need the money for this location. I'm here for it. Give me that money. Remember that time y'all needed that money for the album and I gave it to you last season? Yeah, pay it forward and give me the money. Give me the money for the freaking location. At the end of second season, ODB punches a bartender at a bar, which led him to his first conviction of second degree assault. Yeah, it's like certain stuff that they are leaving out that I wish that they could, invest more time in those areas, because the timeline would make sense as to where ODB is where he is now and why he is the way that he is, because you most definitely know we're about to get into the whole downward spiral. I want to get into that. But I love this scene. I love this whole scene just of like, oh, all hope is lost. We have RZA. He's in there like, we got these beats. These some fire beats though. It's like, yeah, where is ODB? I don't want to, hear, I love the beat. Like it's popping or whatever. Like, but where is he? Like, I love how everybody was just clamoring because everybody just saw the vision and the energy. Like, everything's just exuding off of him. Like, everybody's trying to get at him. I love how the when Shuri goes to the hospital and she's like, yeah, where's Russell Jones? And the nurse is like, who? Oh, dirty bastard. Yeah, tell him I get off at 5. Like, ma'am, back the hell up. But everybody is essentially on ODB's dick because they see the vision, they see that he has something special, and everybody just gravitates to that. So the fact that he showed up and this was a moment of him being not only mature and showing up business wise, because of course later on he says, of course I'm going to show up. I'm mad about the Def Jam thing. I love that we had Bobby apologize, but it's like, yeah, I need the money. I'm broke. I still think a part of him showed up because he didn't want to let his cousin down. We are family. Like, I can't shit on you and let you look bad here. They still didn't get a bonus. They didn't get the advance, which I was not surprised. I love how we have ODB like, you ain't gonna give us no money. Like, you don't even have anything laid down. You didn't lay down anything on these tracks. If you did what you were supposed to do, y'all probably could have got a really decent advance for the record and get some money because you're just so broke and you need some money because you spent all your money on strippers and coke. But you ain't do nothing. So how are you expecting to get paid? But they do fix the family dynamics sort of and talk. I just love Jizz's energy because it's like, yeah, Bobby's like, yeah, let's get in the studio, lay down. It's like, nah, I don't want to lay down anything. You talk, y'all fix this, and then I'll come back. Like, he's just so zen and so peaceful. Like, love me some Jizza. But they, get it together, and then we move into the episode Heard Around the World at this point. Like, what is everybody's problem with this episode of Wu-Tang? Was it just me that liked the third episode? I love the third episode. Comment in the chat if you liked the first episode, because I did. See, ODB was on Angel Dust most of the time. It's no surprise. Like, what was the problem with this episode, y'all? What didn't y'all like about episode 3? I loved episode 3. I thought that it was literal genius the way that they went about it. It kind of gave me the same feel that I got from last season, where we kind of went into RZA's mind when he was trying to record I think he was recording Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Fuck With. I think he was trying to get everybody together in the verses, and we got to see what happens in his mind when he's trying to mix a record or sample and mix the beat, which I love that episode. This kind of brought me there, but we went into ODB's mind instead. We are working on our album, and it's just like, it's not just going to fall from the sky as far as, inspiration and what we need to do. I love the way that they tied it in. I went and looked up, I think it was Zodiac Blue Fly, because I had no clue what that was. It kind of was like, a funk album, but it was also like kind of like a Millie Jackson type thing. Like, it was funk, like an album, but it was also mixed with like comedy. And of course, it's from the 70s, so it's kind of like this funky Bootsy Collins. Like it's very ODB as far as the inspiration for his album. So with them kind of paralleling ODB's career and kind of exchanging that for this raunchy on stage comedy in the same vein of a Red Fox or a Richard Pryor or Paul Mooney of those times where it was just so dirty. Like it was, oh, this is explicit. We can't have you say these in, a local club, but we can release it on a record. Those old school comedy albums that were real dirty and nasty that, once the kids went to bed in the 70s and their family had, adult house parties, they would put those records on. Like, I thought that was so smart. I'm not understanding why people did not like this episode. I thought this episode was really, really good. I think he was gravy. I think Power was gravy. Freaking grits and gravy. And then with the dynamics of their career, I did not think we would get any Erica Alexander anymore in the show or Bokim Woodbine. Like to have them here and she was giving living single energy. This whole episode reminded me so much of her energy that she gives in certain like throwback living single episodes where they are singing Up the Ladder to the Roof or the whole Cotton Club type scenario. I love everybody love this good Maxine Shaw. She was so great in this episode. Like I love this episode. I thought this episode was like hella brilliant. Like this whole situation here where we have him just being this raunchy comedian and we go inside his mind where he is not meeting his full potential as a comedian because he is not only raunchy, but we have the owner of the club, which is portrayed by RZA, doing a great job. Bobby Digital, Ashton Sanders. I was like, really? We had to go to a different era for Ashton Sanders to really perform for me? I love Ashton in this episode. I love his tone of voice because when he's RZA, we're gonna go here, we're gonna take it here. I'm trying to do here, we're trying to take it. Like it's the same, like dialect. He doesn't give a whole lot of diversity there, and that transpires also when he goes to do a bar or a verse for the record, and it's bothered me throughout the season. His voice has bothered me throughout the seasons, but this here in the depiction that he gave here, I thought it was so good. I thought it was really hilarious, and just the dynamics of him not being able to reach his full potential as a comic. Like the club owner, like I want you to change yourself. I want you to change the way you present your comedy. I want you to clean it up. First of all, the episode was funny as fuck. I love me a good blaxploitation movie. It took me back to that type of era, but I need you to clean it up so you can reach a certain demographic. And I thought it was kind of him comparing that to not what RZA wanted him to do, because those executives, like, they wanted ODB, but it was like, you want me to just write some stuff down, spit a couple of verses and a couple of bars and whatnot, and let's just make this record and get out of here. I don't work like that. Like, my mind works completely different, and we get to go inside of it. Like, first of all, like, y'all trying to tell us ODB was packing or what? Like, what in the dildo is going on here on this stage? When he gets to freaking, taking his comedy, which I thought was still, telling of ODB, like, even though we love you for just how rambunctious you are, how unpredictable you are, just your whole energy, you being on drugs, or just all of that, you're a whole bunch of things, but you don't know when too far is too far. And pulling our penis out on stage and trying to, rap it in saran wrap was way too far. Was absolutely way too far. I was like, what is going on here? Like, I swear I was trying to think about the past seasons, but as far as OD's penis coming out, the threesome that we got later, I was like, when did we get all X-rated on Wu-Tang and American Saga? I don't remember any episodes being this raunchy. Now, I know we were, reverting back to those black exploitation eras and, all of the good, we love some thitties and some black exploitation, but child, it was this episode got real dirty, which is, no pun intended. We got all the way into, that alter ego of Dirk McGirt. And I'm guessing that that's, what we were supposed to get into, that dirty being that alter ego in comparison to who like the real ODB was. But when we are high on these drugs and when we are just out of it, getting into our bag and how our mind works, we turn into like this character. But I thought that this episode was freaking phenomenal. I loved it. I felt like ODB would have been absolutely proud. This was very much him and on brand with who he was as an artist and some things that he would do. But as far as TJ Adams, like, he is so great. Like, he is so damn good. He is so freaking good. I loved him here. Like, the parallels between ODB's actual career in his life in comparison with the Dirk McGirt alternate universe comic, and him just not knowing when to say when, him pretty much not putting his career, the career is in the forefront, but you just can't seem to reach your real true potential because you are indulging so often in these drugs, even though everybody loves you. I love how you have the white audience in the front like cracking up, and it's like, yeah, this is this demographic that we're trying to reach. And ODB is like, nah, like, I'm dirty. Like, I'm gonna go back to my raunchy stuff. I don't have, my black people. They're not really, laughing or vibing in the back. But I was like, what are you guys really trying to say about ODB, as an artist? Like, did he feel like, people were trying to change him? Because I felt like people loved him for who he naturally was. Like, this is the most genuine, transparent artist probably of all time. But I wasn't sure, what they were trying to say with that because there was a whole lot going on, but there was almost this sensation of somebody trying to, change him and tone him down. But I was like, maybe they're trying to say that's what RZA was trying to do in the episode. I wasn't totally sure. But once we got into the whole thing of him just pretty much being approached to kind of be a traitor, as far as, oh my god, I can't skip Darren. I gotta pause it. I can't skip Darren. Darren was in the episode. When I tell you, I was so happy to see Darren be kind of introducing Dirk McGirt at the comedy show and kind of poking fun at himself and him being in a chair and not being able to walk. But just to see Darren here in general, I love me some Darren. I love Dennis Brothers. That time that we got to spend with him and his brothers, that was just so awesome. So to even get the little bit of time that we did get with him in this episode, like, I love Darren. I love Darren as a character. But when we have him just pretty much set up to kind of be a traitor, as far as who's portraying RZA here, I love how they incorporated everybody into the flashback in the episode, and it turned into a full blown blaxploitation movie. It turned into Soul Train. It turned into Undercover Brother. Like, there was a whole lot going on, but I absolutely didn't mind it. But it was kind of an ode to him, just regardless of everything, or how many drugs you are taking, or you just really not taking anything too serious, or really being mature, taking responsibility, because Erica Alexander's character makes it very clear, if I give you this money, I'm expecting you to make this album and to do these things. You can do and say whatever you want to, but you have to do it if I give you this money. But we take this money, of course, and we go and get drugs and indulge in these women, and we are living our best life in this hotel until we are caught and we have to deal with some repercussions, and we are trying to use comedy to get out of, being messed up by grits and gravy. But it's like we are keeping them laughing and keeping them entertained so I can kind of, salvage my life. But it was just so good, y'all. Like, it was so good. I'm trying to understand what people aren't liking about it. I love how we had Yuga, as the pusher man. And it's just like, man, I can't sell to you anymore. It was all good and fun at first, but now it is affecting you in the worst way. You are becoming an addict. You are you're not dependable. You are supposed to be focusing on your career and writing your material, but you are so far gone off of these drugs. Not only are you not writing the material, which is why I think he resorted to more of that raunchy joke on stage when he pulled out his penis, was because he didn't have anything, because he couldn't concentrate on writing the material because he was completely high, which is, I think, going back into his actual life of us not really toning ourselves down, or stepping away from the drugs, or really trying to take care of ourselves, because we are so well known for these antics, this behavior. Like, all of that stuff was a cry for help. All of those antics, just him destroying himself slowly, was a cry for help from ODB, but it kind of went unchecked by everybody around him. As far as I'm concerned, I don't really know who or if how many times people tried to get him help or whatever, but it wasn't a whole lot, because he was just solely seen as, oh, this is ODB, this is who he is, this is what he does. So he never really got any help, in my opinion. Even the times when he was, on something like fantasy, or being on somebody else's record, or just, because at one time ODB was kind of collabing and touching on a little bit of everything. He was, still showing up late, still showing up high, not really meeting expectations as an artist. Like, you could see clearly that he was inebriated and he wasn't his best self. But it's like, as long as we get him, in the video, as long as we, get him to act right or lay down his verse, we are willing to put up with his behavior, his antics. He never really low key got any help from anybody, because this is what was expected to him. The more intoxicated, high, irrational his behavior, the bigger his career, seemed to be. Nobody really cared. So I'm really interested to see moving forward in the show exactly how the group handles him, kind of going off the deep end, because, by the time he got arrested and did that time in jail, did nobody come see him? It wasn't good. So, and that, I know that really that hurt him at the time when he was arrested and nobody came to see him. So I'm just interested to see how we get there. But the whole thing of the just the aesthetic of this episode, I believe that it was directed by Mario Van Peebles. That was awesome. Like, it was just so good. It was so good. Like, I don't understand why anybody would have a problem. Look at Maxine. This thing is crazy. I don't see why anybody would have a problem with this episode. Like, did anybody love anything else about this episode that I am, missing? Or because him just not taking responsibility for anything, or taking Maxine's, threats verbatim. Like, if you don't lay down this record, you just try to disappear with my money, run off. Like, you're gonna have to answer to me. And he just doesn't take it serious. Like, and that's, getting back into ODB, him just not really taking, anything serious. I don't have to answer to anybody. He's all about doing what he wants to do all the time in his own time, even if he is slowly destroying himself. He doesn't want to, he's constantly resisting authority, which is why we eventually got arrested, so many times, all of the jail stints and just everything that happened throughout his career, because he never wanted to be told what to do. But, when it's time to pay the piper, we are trying to use jokes and, that comedy to get ourselves out of sticky situations. But I thought that Bokeem Woodbine did an amazing job as Don Cornelius. Like, the deep voice was getting me. Jizza here as the man following him. Like, the white makeup was taking me out. Like, I knew it was Jizza, but the whole mustache and the disguise of it all, I thought that was really funny, how it just kind of instantly turned into Undercover Brother. And it's like, I had to make sure you was down, and you weren't a sellout. We need you to take out Don Cornelius. He's a robot. Like, it turned into Pootie Tang. We need you to take out Don Cornelius. He's a robot. They trying to use the marketing that's on the shuffle, the scramble board of Soul Train to sell Kool-Aid and honey buns and shit to our black kids. Like, we need to take his ass out. Don Cornelius is a robot. I was like, what? Even though it was crazy and outlandish, it goes with ODB's aesthetic so well, and it lended itself really well to us going inside of his head, or just the making of his first album, Brooklyn Zoo. There are so many elements of funk on there. I love how throughout the episode he kept referring to, I like it raw, like getting all that good shimmy shimmy, y'all. Like, it was just incredible. Like, the episode was so funky and so freaking good. I just love that they turned him into a whole comedian. I thought that was just so genius. Let me see what you guys are saying in this chat. Third episode was very creative. They are doing, yes, they doing a similar episode for Raekwon and GZA. Oh, I'm gonna be looking forward to that. I'm gonna be looking forward to that. I love all the moments of the show where we get to go inside of their brains. Like, those are awesome. Damn, my partner told me I need to watch this series. Low key, you won't watch the show? That happened, but in a hotel. I'm not sure what that means. Let's see. ODB Angel does. I'm not sure what that means. Let's see. Bo Kim is an underrated actor. Definitely is. He did really great here. I was glad that we pulled him in because we didn't really see him all that much last season because him and our Erica Alexander character, they are living in Ohio, so we wouldn't really see them all that much. But just to, tie them in here in some way, especially with this being the last season, was great. But he did well. I love that we got this whole blaxploitation ass fight. I love that Shuri showed up at the Undercover Brother headquarters. It was just very like reminiscent of Undercover Brother, and it was just so ODB. I thought that this was such a great way to like pay homage to him as an artist. Look at all these naked women. I was like, when we started having threesomes and all these back shots and sex on Wu-Tang Clan and American Saga, I was very surprised. I was like, oh. And I'm never above a good sex scene, but I was like, wow, okay, this is raunchy. I was at first I had clutched my pearls when OD Dirt McGirt pulled his penis out on stage and started rapping it. I was very out, but this is him. This is very much so him, and it just matched so well with the episode. Like, I can't wait. Oh, look at here. This is freaking Superfly. Looking like Divine. Divine with the Superfly perm wig and the sideburns as, grits and gravy. That was taking me out. I love all of the essences and the references to, blaxploitation and all that good stuff. It was so good. It was so good. Let's see. I heard when he recorded Fantasy Remix, he showed up 3 hours late, drunk out of his mind, demanding $50,000. Then he does a few bars, falls asleep, then he wakes up again and falls back. Yeah, that's the shit I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. I know all about that story. Like, this is what I'm talking about. So for us to allow that kind of behavior, for them to even, fall into his demands and catering to his obnoxious needs just because ODB was so hot at the time and such a great commodity to have on your record. If ODB was on your song, like, it was going to turn up. It was going to go platinum. It was going to perform because he was just that big. So they didn't really care. I just really want to see what RZA does. Not to say that they are responsible for, taking care of him, or because everybody's, grown at this point. But I just really want to see how they react to his decline, because even with ODB missing, him coming or making his way back to the mansion, everybody's just like, oh, I heard he was in the strip club. Oh, I heard he was, on the block. I heard he was, getting faded. And they just really don't take it serious, because it's just like, oh, that's just ODB. That's just ODB being him, not knowing that he is really going off the deep end. I see they say his feet was smelling so bad at the studio that when he fell asleep, they let him sleep. I could see it. I could see it. Like, I just wanted to know how we got to that. Like, I want to see that. But I know we can only do so much with one season. Child, when I went into these gifts for these comics, like, I really went there. I got Rick James. Like, this episode was giving all of this. I put all of these references in here because it was referencing, the blaxploitation era, Richard Pryor, the Paul Moonies, the Red Fox, the all of this good stuff here. Like, I loved all of it. Like, this episode was just so good. I loved him going undercover as a Soul Train dancer, the whole fight. I even loved him, the Undercover Brother references where he jumps off the building and it's a full-blown condom. It's a full-blown condom, and or him just running and you have the graphics changed in the background. Just very, 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 very 70s. And I love Mario Van Peebles directing this, especially with his father being so big in the blaxploitation era, and the movies and things that he released, or who he was for the time. So it just only makes sense that we would get here and he would direct something like this and just be so freaking dope at it. Like, I don't care what nobody have to say, this was a good episode. In my opinion. In my freaking opinion. But I think we just kind of leave off this episode with which is what I love. When we transition and leave episodes and they are performing one of their songs, I love TJ Adams. He gives really great ODB energy. Even though he doesn't sound like ODB when he is rapping, but just him singing, I like it raw, and we trying to kind of transition into Shimmy Shimmy Ya in the video, and pretty much Shimmy Shimmy Ya and Brooklyn Zoo, the whole album, his vision coming to light, and of course the album performing and doing really, really great. But I thought this episode was so good. I thought this episode was so good. Like, it made me emotional. Let's see. I post the reference for ODB rapping his junk in plastic. Lord. Oh, I just can't believe he done all this. Like, how was he able to do this shit? Like, I'm really curious. I know you cannot control a grown ass man, but there is something embedded in ODB. It has nothing to do with, the drugs or something like that. I just feel like mentally there is something there. Like for him to be mentally unstable and just kind of be immature, and it's like kind of delayed, like kind of transitioning back into his childhood, just with the energy that he gives. Like, I just feel like something snapped and something is wrong, but I just really want to know what happened. I really want to know what happened to ODB and why he chose to self-destruct himself, his career, indulge in those drugs. And with us just kind of jumping into the drugs in these first 3 episodes, even with this, even the scene that we have where he just gets shot and he's just like, I'm finally getting the vision. It's not about me. It's not about, the antics, about me overindulging, going too far on stage, about me reveling in these drugs. It's really about my career, and tells, Don Cornelius, just give me an introduction and really get me back into the good graces and get me in the club as well. We have, Grits and Gravy and the crew roll up, and they take him out anyway, even though he plays the money. And it's just kind of like he has this rebirth and he comes back as not, Dirt McGirt, but now he is ODB and he is being, himself. And we transition out of the episode. Like, this is a beautiful episode, but I just really want to know what the hell happened to ODB personally. But you guys, please comment right now before I, head out, and let me know if I like leave off of anything. I'm hoping to see P. Diddy again, just so we can get, Wu-Tang is for the children. Because as soon as Diddy's son rolled up portraying him, I just thought about Big Baby Jesus hopping on that Grammy stage, Puff is good, but Wu-Tang is better. Wu-Tang is for the children, all that good shit, because they didn't win that Grammy. I wonder if we're gonna like show that would be like so dope if they do that. But did I leave out anything before I get my butt off of here? I really wanted to do like a breakdown video, but y'all be impatient. I got so many DMs like, can you talk about the show? Can you talk about the show? I was like, well, you know what? I got so many different things that I'm trying to do with the channel now. So many reviews I have to do, the Patreon, that I just did not have time to invest in editing yet another video, because I'm editing others as well. But I'm hoping that this live stream gave you guys everything that you needed to know about the episode. Is there anything y'all want to ask that I did not answer, or anything that I missed in all 3 of these episodes? Please comment now before I shimmy ya my ass off of here. I'm looking forward to watching the rest of the show. Like, man. Yeah, this is not my thing, y'all. Y'all know I don't like going live. Y'all know I'm like, oh, I hate this. Like, I'm literally going to get off of here and faint, because this gives me anxiety. Oh man. Let me see. Let me take this off of here, because I think that is it. Yeah, y'all, the live stuff gives me anxiety. Like, I just don't feel like I give y'all my best when I'm live, because my nerves always get the better of me, because this is just not my favorite thing to do. But let's see, could you do more for the episodes? I'm thinking like it would be easier to do more with the show if they just didn't release so many at once. Like, why y'all gotta release 3 episodes at once? If they could just, do once a week, which is what I thought they were gonna do because this is the last season, and doing that once a week kind of builds up momentum. But yeah, they released so many I think even for the next one, they're releasing 2 episodes at once. Did Clan have any input on the series? Not everybody. I think if they didn't have any input, it's just because there's beef with RZA. And from my understanding, the main one who had the beef was You God. I think he's the only one who maybe didn't really have input. But I know Meth has had input. He's been involved. Raekwon, like every Jizza, everybody's been involved. But I think everybody's involved except for You God, if I'm not mistaken. I think. Yeah, I really wish I could invest more. Like if I do that, then you guys would have to, wait because even with I think we have new episodes coming on the 21st. It's just the release of the show just does not match up with my timeline. But if I can fathom getting, how I like to do my videos, because the live shit is just not me. If I can do that, then I would love to give you guys a really dope video. But this is cool. I said what I need to say, most of it. RZA and Method Man had input on the show. Yeah, is it just RZA and Method Man? Because I could have sworn, everybody else, they may not have a credit as far as, the production, but I think everybody kind of had input with their characters. You God, aka Angry Man off of Mark. Leave You God alone. Like, look, I'm gonna need you to watch the show so you can really get into You God and the way that his character has been executed, and what's really going on. Because I really think you would like it. I think you would enjoy it. I don't think I'm gonna enjoy this season as much as the first two, but I'm okay with that. Like, they getting into the lavish and the money. I just think it's far too much to squeeze into 10 episodes of one season. Like, how far are we going to go? When are we going to put the cap on like the careers? Are we going to go, early mid 2000s? Are we going to go for I just don't know exactly how they're going to execute that. I'm going to watch it for sure though. Please, please, please though. But you guys, that is it. I am going to get off of here. I really hope you guys enjoyed this live. Please comment in those comments when you guys get off of here so we can maybe get, some traction for this video. If it does perform, I will continue on. Probably the next release, it may not be a live. I might just hop on and do a edit because I can edit the shit out of video. That's my favorite. But this is just, this is not my bag. But thank you guys so much for joining me for 2 hours to talk about these 3 episodes. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you guys next time. Bye.